From elementary school to high school, I felt generally confident in mathematics, and this was due to my lack of challenges. I always felt like it came easily to me, and because I was more oriented towards English and history, I never really paid much attention to it. Uh, I found that some of my most positive interactions with mathematics occurred when I was helping my peers, or explaining something to my partner, or explaining something on the board. This would drastically shift when I went into my senior year and was introduced to AP Calculus, which would kick my butt.
So, ever since a young age, I felt very comfortable in my mathematical abilities, especially when I was really young. I was able to finish math tests the quickest. I felt very confident in myself. But as I moved to a new school district and as things got harder, as we increased, levels of math throughout high school, it was really difficult for me, especially my senior year with calculus. I felt like I had faced my biggest challenge in mathematics so far.
So during my school life, I've always felt confident with math because I used to study a lot of math with my grandma when I was a child. And I feel that the proudest moment in my math journey was when I got my first medal in a math Olympiad, because I felt that I was going beyond what my school was teaching. And I would say the hardest moment was around the same time when I moved to a new school, and it was like much harder than my previous school. So I had to take a test to get into the school, and I did very bad on the math section of this test, so I was very discouraged. But I used this to learn more about math and get involved with this Olympiad, so it turned out very well.
When I was proudest of my mathematical ability was probably in junior year AP Calculus at the beginning of the class. It was during that time period that I really felt like I could understand the problems and that I could really learn the concepts that were being taught every day. And it was then that I wasn't relying on just memorizing the formulas and memorizing how to do the steps. But at the same time, when I was most challenged was at the end of the year, when I was definitely being overwhelmed with all the concepts that were being thrown at us, and I just felt like I was behind all of my classmates, and I would just show up to class feeling discouraged every day just because I didn't even know how to catch up or where to even start.
Accepted into Stanford, I couldn't help but fear what my educational journey would be like. I knew that this was a rigorous environment, and so I was scared of being around people that were more intelligent or more advanced, especially in subjects like mathematics. I am now aware that I want my education to embody collaboration. I want it to embody teamwork. I want it to embody asking questions that I may not always have the answer to. I find that learning is beautiful in this way, and so leaving this course, I now know this.
So overall, this class has really taught me to be more open-minded with math. I didn't really think of math as having numerous ways to approach one problem before. I just kind of thought there was one correct answer, one correct method, because that's what we've been taught our whole lives. So just to see that there are many different ways to do the same thing was really cool for me, and I really enjoy taking my time now through it and just looking at the different ways you can solve one problem.
I felt very challenged in this class because it was different than any other class I have ever taken. So I could see math in a more creative way instead of a very formulated and focused on memorizing way, which it was what I used to learn during school. And I feel that I learned a lot about being able to be creative in math. So I didn't have to worry about finishing the exercises on time or being the fastest ones or doing it right. I could just focus on learning about that exercise and seeing, looking at patterns and trying to discover different ways to solve it. And also I think that in this class I could learn more about the importance of group work, because when I was in a group, my classmates would give a lot of contributions that were very enriching, and I never used to study math during like this during school.
With this class, I've come to understand that it really is possible for me to understand mathematics on a deeper level and to really get the concepts that we're being taught without just having to rely on memorization or without having to just know the formulas at the back of my hand. And I've always felt that I needed some kind of gift or so many years of studying to really understand it. But I've learned recently in the past month that I really don't, and that's definitely possible for me to learn it and to be on the same level as mathematicians or people who have spent years of studying, as long as I just need to understand the concepts. And at the same time, I've also definitely become less intimidated by the thought of pursuing a career in STEM or just anything involving mathematics. Is it good?
It just stopped.
Journey here at Stanford University, I hope to find the balance that I've always wanted with math. I feel like I've always seen math as the subject that's very objective and is always rushed, and so I've never really had the opportunity to enjoy it and find its purpose for me, find its purpose outside of class. And yes, math is everywhere, but I think once I am able to apply it to my own life and my own daily actions, I will fully appreciate it for what it
Here
is.
at Stanford, I hope to develop a better relationship with math than I have right now. And I believe I can do that with the community here, my peers, just everybody, since this is such a collaborative environment. So I hope to gain a better relationship with mathematics moving forward.
I hope to get from this class the mentality that math doesn't have to be a competitive subject. It can be a creative subject. So I don't have to be the fastest or the greatest one in math. I don't have to solve all of the exercises right. And I can just see math as a subject in which I can improve and learn more, and that my capacities are not limited because I'm not a genius and things that we learn at school. And also I hope I can gain the mentality that group work will enrich me a lot during my classes at Stanford, even if it's group work outside of the classroom, because I think I could see a lot of insights and learn a lot with my classmates during this class.
After this class, I really hope that I can maintain the same open-mindedness and optimism that I've learned to gain in here, just because now I can feel like I can pursue a math problem without any criticism or without failing without failing the class or getting a low test score. But that's only because of how this class is formatted. Hopefully, when the school year starts, I will be able to maintain that same level of optimism, and even with that very real possibility of getting a low test score or even failing. And then in the end, I just really hope that I don't lose encouragement and optimism, and I hope that I can still keep pursuing and trying to solve math problems without any discouragement.